Rebecca sat on the edge of her bed, holding the sparkling diamond ring in her hand. The light from her bedside lamp made it glimmer beautifully, but her heart was still filled with confusion. Who could have bought such an extravagant gift, and why? Christopher was equally puzzled, and that made things even more mysterious. As she sat there, lost in thought, her phone rang. She glanced at the screen. It was her mother. With a sigh, she picked up. "Hello, Mom." "Rebecca, my dear," her mother's warm voice filled the room. "How are you doing, my love?" "I'm fine, Mom, just thinking about some things," Rebecca replied carefully, not wanting to bring up the ring yet. Her mother chuckled. "I know you're thinking about that beautiful ring, that's why I called." Rebecca froze. "Wait, Mom, how do you know about the ring?" "Well, I was the one who paid for it," her mother said proudly. "I have been saving for years, my dear. I always told myself, the day my daughter finds someone special to her heart, I will buy her the most beautiful ring to show her how proud I am." What secret has Rebecca's mother been hiding all this time? Rebecca's jaw dropped, and she sat up straighter. "What? You bought the ring, Mom? Are you serious? How did you even know we were shopping for one?" Her mother laughed softly. "Rebecca, you think I don't know you? You may not have told me outright, but I can tell from the way you talk about this Christopher. Whenever I call, there's a glow in your voice. Even though I haven't met him, I just know he's the one for you, so when I saw a chance to do something special for my daughter, I took it." Rebecca was stunned. "Mom, I don't even know what to say, but I haven't told you that we're getting married. Why would you assume?" Her mother cut her off with a knowing laugh. "Ah, Rebecca, my child, a mother knows her daughter's heart. The way you talk about him, the way you defend him when I ask about him, it's clear he's special to you. Whether you've admitted it to yourself or not, you love him, and I'm sure he loves you, too." Rebecca's eyes softened, and she felt a lump form in her throat. "Mom, you never cease to amaze me. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much for the ring, it's beautiful, I love it." Her mother's voice was filled with joy. "That's all I wanted to hear, and remember, Rebecca, this is your life. Don't be afraid to follow your heart, don't let anything or anyone stop you." As Rebecca hung up, she stared at the ring again, her emotions swirling. Her mother's gesture touched her deeply, but it also added weight to the growing feelings she had for Christopher. She sighed and lay back on the bed, clutching the ring to her chest. "Mom, you really do amaze me," she whispered to herself, a small smile forming on her lips. But will a betrayal threaten to shatter Rebecca's newfound happiness? It was a sunny morning, and Christopher was enjoying the peaceful silence of the house when the doorbell rang. He wasn't expecting anyone, so he hesitated for a moment before walking to the door. When he opened it, he was surprised to see Tasha standing there, dressed in an elegant outfit and wearing a wide smile. "Hi, Christopher," Tasha greeted, her tone unusually sweet. "Hello," Christopher replied cautiously. "Rebecca isn't home, she's at work." "I know," Tasha said, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. "I came to see you, not Rebecca." Christopher frowned slightly, unsure of what to make of her sudden visit. "You came to see me? Why?" Tasha chuckled, flipping her long hair over her shoulder as she walked further into the living room. "Christopher, let's not beat around the bush. You're a handsome man, and I like you." Christopher's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "You like me?" "I'm sorry, Tasha, but weren't you the one who said you could never marry someone like me? I overheard you clearly the other day." Tasha waved dismissively, as though brushing off her own words. "Oh, that I wasn't serious. People say things they don't mean all the time. Besides, you're different, you're too handsome for Rebecca." Christopher folded his arms, his expression hardening. "What's that supposed to mean?" Tasha smiled slightly, taking a step closer to him. "It means you deserve better. Look, Rebecca is nice, but she's not on your level. She's too busy with work, too local, she doesn't know how to have fun. Me? I'm everything she's not. I come from a wealthy family, just like her, and I can take care of you better than she ever could." Christopher stared at her in disbelief, then shook his head. "Tasha, I think you have misunderstood something. Rebecca is the one who gave me a chance when the whole world looked down on me. She didn't care about my past or where I came from. She saw the person I am, not what I have or don't have. That's something money can't buy." Tasha's smile faded, but she quickly recovered. Come on, Christopher, let's not pretend you're just staying here because of this fake engagement thing. It's not like you love her. Why waste your time when you could be with someone like me? Christopher took a deep breath, his patience wearing thin. Tasha, let me make this clear. Even if Rebecca and I weren't pretending, I still wouldn't choose you. You're shallow and disrespectful. If you can talk about your own friend like this behind her back, how could I ever trust you? Tasha's face turned red with embarrassment and anger. You'll regret this, Christopher. When Rebecca gets tired of you, don't come running to me. Christopher stood his ground. I think it's time for you to leave, Tasha. Without another word, Tasha stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind her. Christopher sighed and sat down on the couch, running a hand through his hair. I can't believe her, he muttered to himself. Rebecca deserves better friends than that. Rebecca was in her office, going through some documents, when her phone buzzed. It was her mother calling. She smiled, knowing her mother probably had something amusing to say. Hello, Mom, Rebecca answered cheerfully. Rebecca, my dear, how are you? Her mother's warm voice came through. I'm fine, Mom, how about you? I'm doing well, but I was just thinking, you haven't told me much about Christopher. What does he do for a living? I mean, you found such a fine man, and I'm curious, her mother asked, her tone filled with excitement. Rebecca froze for a second, her mind racing. She hadn't expected this question. Oh, Mom, Christopher is very busy with his work, she said, trying to deflect the question. Her mother wasn't satisfied. Busy with what, exactly? What's his profession? Rebecca hesitated. She couldn't possibly tell her mother the truth about Christopher. Well, he's the CEO of a very big company, she lied quickly, her heart pounding. Her mother sounded even more impressed. A CEO? That's wonderful. What kind of company does he run? Rebecca's palms began to sweat. She hadn't thought this far ahead. It's a tech company, Mom, you know, software and stuff. A tech company? That's marvelous. I've always wanted you to end up with someone successful, her mother said, her voice full of pride. I can't wait to meet my son-in-law. Rebecca forced a laugh. Soon, Mom, very soon. After the call ended, Rebecca leaned back in her chair and sighed deeply. What have I gotten myself into? She muttered, shaking her head. Meanwhile, at her mother's house, the phone rang again. Her mother picked it up, and to her surprise, it was John. Good afternoon, Ma, John greeted, his tone overly polite. Good afternoon, who is this? Rebecca's mother asked, slightly confused. This is John. I'm calling because I think you need to know the truth about Rebecca and her so-called fiancé, he said smugly. Rebecca's mother frowned. What do you mean, what truth? John's voice was full of malice as he replied, that man she's with, Christopher, is not who you think he is. He's not a CEO or anything close to it. He's just a poor beggar she picked up off the streets. She's lying to you, Ma. Her mother's mouth dropped open. A beggar? No, that can't be true. My Rebecca would never do such a thing. Ask her yourself if you think I'm lying, John said, his voice dripping with satisfaction. Rebecca's mother ended the call, her hands trembling lightly. This can't be true, she whispered to herself. She quickly sent Rebecca a text message. Rebecca, come to my house this weekend, we need to talk. Back at her office, Rebecca saw the message and felt her stomach twist into knots. She had a feeling this weekend was going to be far from pleasant. Rebecca walked into her home, her mind still replaying the strange text her mother had sent. She was barely through the door when Christopher approached her, looking concerned. Rebecca, we need to talk, Christopher said, his tone serious. Rebecca raised an eyebrow. What is it? Christopher sighed. Tasha came by earlier today while you were at work. Rebecca immediately frowned. What does she want now, and why does she keep showing up here uninvited? She said she knew you weren't home, Christopher began cautiously. She started saying all kinds of things. She told me she liked me and that she's wealthier than you. She claimed she's more fun to be with and tried to convince me you weren't good enough for me. Rebecca's eyes widened in shock, then narrowed in anger. She said all that? Yes, Christopher said. I told her I wasn't interested and that she should leave. She looked embarrassed and left angrily. Rebecca was furious. That snake, I can't believe she would stoop so low, after everything I've done for her, and now she has the audacity to come here and say those things to you? She began pacing the room. Christopher watched her calmly. Rebecca, I think you should calm down, she's not worth your energy. Rebecca stopped pacing and turned to him. Calm down? You don't understand, Christopher. Tasha doesn't take rejection lightly, she's vindictive. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already gone behind my back to cause trouble. What do you mean? Christopher asked, curious. Rebecca sighed deeply, rubbing her temples. My mother sent me a message earlier today asking me to come over this weekend. She sounded urgent, like she knows something she shouldn't. What if Tasha is behind it? What if she's gone to my mother and said something to sabotage us? Christopher frowned. That's a big assumption, Rebecca. Are you sure Tasha would go that far? Rebecca scoffed. Oh, I know her too well, she's petty and thrives on creating drama. If she's the one behind this, I promise you, Christopher, she will regret it, she will wish she never crossed paths with me. Christopher placed a hand on her shoulder, his voice calm and steady. Rebecca, listen to me, I understand you're upset, but let's not jump to conclusions, for now. Go to your mother's house this weekend and hear what she has to say. Don't accuse Tasha until you have proof. Rebecca crossed her arms, her anger still simmering. You're right, I'll go and see what's going on, but if I find out Tasha is involved, our so-called friendship is over. She'll know what it feels like to mess with Rebecca. Christopher smiled gently. Just be careful, okay? Sometimes it's better to stay away from people like her altogether. Rebecca nodded. You're right, I'm done with her, for now. I'll focus on whatever my mother wants to discuss, but believe me, if Tasha is behind this, she'll regret ever opening her mouth. Christopher chuckled softly, pulling her into a comforting hug. You're a strong woman, Rebecca, you'll handle this. Rebecca stood in the kitchen, staring at the ingredients on the counter. She was supposed to be deciding what to cook for dinner, but her mind kept drifting back to what Christopher had told her earlier. Tasha's audacity left a bitter taste in her mouth, and she couldn't shake the anger bubbling within her. Unable to contain herself any longer, Rebecca grabbed her phone and scrolled to Tasha's number. She hesitated for a moment before hitting the call button. The phone rang twice before Tasha picked up, her voice cheerful. Rebecca, what's up, girl? Rebecca didn't waste time with pleasantries. Tasha, I just want to know one thing, did you or did you not come to my house to hit on Christopher? There was a brief pause before Tasha laughed nervously. What, Rebecca, where's this coming from? Tasha, don't play games with me. Christopher told me everything. You came here, said all sorts of nonsense about me, and even tried to convince him to leave me for you. Is that true or not? Tasha sighed dramatically. Oh, Rebecca, you're overreacting. It's not what you think. Then what is it, Tasha? Rebecca demanded, her patience wearing thin. Fine, Tasha admitted, I went to your house, but it wasn't serious, I was just testing him. Rebecca's jaw dropped. Testing him? What do you mean testing him? Tasha's tone turned defensive. You talk about Christopher so much, Rebecca, I just wanted to see if he's really worth all the hype. I mean, you're acting like he's the best thing that's ever happened to you. I was curious, that's all. Rebecca's grip on the phone tightened. Curious? Tasha, do you even hear yourself? You came into my home, insulted me behind my back, and tried to flirt with Christopher, all because you were curious? How dare you? Rebecca, you're blowing this out of proportion, Tasha said dismissively. It was harmless, and honestly, you're too sensitive. Sensitive? Rebecca's voice rose. Tasha, you crossed a line, you disrespected me, my relationship, and my home. You had no right to do what you did, and for what? To satisfy your so-called curiosity? Tasha sighed again, her tone bored. Oh, come on, Rebecca, don't be so dramatic, it's not like he's really your boyfriend anyway. Rebecca's heart pounded, but she kept her voice steady. You know what, Tasha, I've had enough of you. This isn't the first time you've shown me who you really are, but it will be the last. Stay away from me, my life, and my relationship. We're done, do you hear me? Done. Rebecca, don't be ridiculous. Rebecca didn't let her finish. Goodbye, Tasha, she said coldly, hanging up the phone with finality. She stood there for a moment, staring at the phone in her hand, her chest rising and falling with anger. How had she let someone like Tasha stay in her life for so long? Christopher walked into the kitchen just then, noticing the stormy look on her face. Is everything okay? Rebecca took a deep breath and nodded. It is now. I just ended a toxic friendship that should have ended a long time ago. Christopher walked closer, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Good for you, Rebecca, you don't need people like that in your life. Rebecca nodded, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. You're right, I'm done letting people like Tasha bring me down. From now on, I'm focusing on what really matters. Christopher smiled. And what matters? Rebecca looked at him, her expression softening. The people who truly care about me. The weekend came, and Rebecca arrived at her mother's house, her heart pounding as if it were about to leap out of her chest. She knew the conversation ahead wouldn't be easy. Her mother was waiting for her in the living room, arms crossed, an expression of disappointment etched on her face. Rebecca sat down, trying to avoid her mother's intense gaze. Hi, Mom, she said cautiously, forcing a smile. Her mother didn't return the smile. Rebecca, she began sternly, why did you lie to me about Christopher? Rebecca's heart sank. Mom, I can explain, her mother interrupted. So, you paid him to pretend to be your fiancé just to fool me? That's bad, my daughter, really bad. Rebecca lowered her head, ashamed. Mom, I didn't mean for it to go this far, the pressure was just too much, you kept insisting I find someone first, it was just an arrangement, but she hesitated, her voice softening, now I'm in love with him. Her mother's expression softened slightly. You're in love with him? Rebecca nodded. Yes, Mom, he's kind, honest, and he makes me happy. I know it started off wrong, but my feelings for him are real. Her mother sighed. I understand the pressure I put on you, but you should have ignored me if it was too much. Rebecca looked up, a small smile tugging at her lips. Mother, ignore you? Don't you know how stubborn you can be? You wouldn't have let me breathe until I introduced someone. Her mother couldn't help but laugh at that. Well, you're not wrong. If you're truly happy with Christopher, then I don't mind his status anymore. What matters is your happiness. We can make Christopher into whatever we want him to be. If he loves you and is willing to grow, then that's all I care about. Rebecca's eyes widened in surprise. Really, Mom? Mrs. Phillips nodded. Really, bring my son-in-law to see me soon. Rebecca blinked, stunned. Son-in-law already? Mom, he hasn't even proposed yet. Her mother laughed. Oh, don't worry, he will, I can feel it. Rebecca couldn't stop smiling as she hugged her mother tightly. Thank you, Mom, you have no idea how much this means to me. When she got home, Rebecca wasted no time sharing the good news with Christopher. Guess what? She exclaimed, practically bursting with excitement. Christopher raised an eyebrow. What happened? Rebecca smiled. My mom said she doesn't care about your status anymore, she just wants me to be happy, and, she hesitated for dramatic effect, she called you her son-in-law. Christopher laughed, his deep voice filling the room. Son-in-law, huh? That's a big promotion. Rebecca nodded. I know, right, you're moving up in the world. Christopher looked thoughtful for a moment before a mischievous smile spread across his face. He got down on one knee, pulling a small box from his pocket. Rebecca gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. Christopher, what are you doing? He opened the box, revealing a beautiful engagement ring. Rebecca, will you marry me? He asked, his voice filled with emotion. Rebecca blinked, stunned. Wait, did my mom put you up to this? Christopher laughed. No, she didn't, but hearing that she's on our side gave me the courage to do what I've wanted to do for a while now, so, what do you say? Tears filled Rebecca's eyes as she nodded. Yes, Christopher, I'll marry you. Christopher slipped the ring onto her finger and stood up, pulling her into a warm embrace. I promise to make you happy, Rebecca. Rebecca smiled through her tears. You already do, Christopher, you already do. The couple spent the rest of the evening celebrating, dreaming of their future together. For the first time in a long time, Rebecca felt like everything was falling into place, and this time, it was no longer an act, it was real. A few months later, Rebecca and Christopher stood hand in hand, exchanging vows in front of friends, family, and well-wishers. The ceremony was beautiful, filled with laughter and tears of joy. Christopher, dressed in a sharp suit, couldn't take his eyes off Rebecca, who looked radiant in her elegant gown. As they sealed their love with a kiss, Rebecca's mother clapped the loudest, her heart bursting with pride. The couple's journey from a chance encounter to this magical moment was nothing short of a fairy tale. 2 years later, Christopher was no longer the humble man who once roamed the streets. With Rebecca's unwavering support and her mother's guidance, he had transformed into a confident and successful businessman, the CEO of a thriving logistics company. His office, a towering glass building, bore the name Christopher & Company. A testament to how far he had come. Rebecca, always his cheerleader, balanced her career and her role as his partner with grace. The love they shared had only grown stronger over the years. One sunny afternoon, Christopher returned home early to surprise Rebecca. As he walked through the door, he saw her playing on the floor with their 1-year-old daughter, Grace. The sight melted his heart. Rebecca looked up and smiled. "Hey, Mr. CEO, home so soon?" Christopher grinned. "Couldn't wait to see my 2 favorite girls." He picked up Grace, who giggled and reached for his tie. Rebecca joined them, wrapping her arms around Christopher's waist. "I still can't believe this is our life," Christopher said, his voice filled with gratitude. Rebecca smiled. "Well, believe it, you've earned every bit of it." Christopher looked at her with deep admiration. "No, Rebecca, we earned it together. I wouldn't be here without you." That evening, as they sat on the balcony watching the sunset, Rebecca reflected on their journey. "Christopher," she said, "do you remember how it all started, a fake engagement?" Christopher laughed. "How could I forget? And look where we are now. It's funny how life works." Rebecca nodded. "It's a reminder that sometimes the unexpected paths lead us to the most beautiful destinations." Moral lesson: true love sees beyond circumstances, status, and appearances. It thrives on support, belief, and shared dreams. Rebecca's kindness, patience, and faith in Christopher gave him the confidence to rise above his past, and Christopher's humility and determination proved that everyone deserves a chance to shine. Life may not always start perfectly, but with love, perseverance, and the right people by your side, even the most unlikely beginnings can lead to a happily ever after. Dear viewers, if you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to Innocent Stories. Don't forget to turn on notifications for more inspiring tales. Stay blessed, and thank you for your support.